Hello, fellow creatives. Welcome back to The Nadia Effect. I am your host, Nadia Johnson, and if this is the first time that you're joining me, I am the self published author of the Remembering June series and a single book titled Unmasked that I am going to also turn into a series. If you have been here with me before, thank you for joining me again. And I hope that you continue to join me and continue to learn and grow with me. So, today I am going to introduce a series that I am going to title Naked Mondays. I'm going to spend time every Monday stripping down my conversation, stripping down my experiences to their bare bones. There will be no nudity involved in the making of this video, but there will be hopefully some inspiration for those of us that have kind of veered off course in our creative journeys and we're hoping to get back on course. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, then stay tuned and let's get naked. So, in this installment of Naked Mondays, I want to talk about revisiting the vision for your creative life, especially for those of us that have kind of let life like push us off course for whatever reason. It could be, taking care of an elderly or sick parent or an elderly or sick spouse, or it could just be, lacking motivation because your mental health has declined or whatever. But whatever it is, I just want to give you 5 things that I'm trying to remember as I am venturing back into my creative journey and trying to return to writing. So, tip number 1 is remember your why, remember your vision. So, when I say remember your why, remember your vision, I simply mean that you have to know why you're on the creative journey that you're on. And for everyone, it's not monetary. For some people, it's just creativity for the sake of being creative, and that's okay too. But I know for me personally, what my vision was when I originally began this journey in 2014, it was to become a published author and to leave my day job and let my writing be full time and also be able to make a living. And what happened is I don't think that I really prepared for um, everything that was going to come along with writing. Like the writing or any creative pursuit in general is probably the easiest part for us as a creative, but it's also there's another part. There is the business side. There is, especially as a self-published author, there is the business side. There is all these the packaging of your books and the formatting and all of that stuff. You are the boss in all of that. And so my why was that I wanted to be a full-time author. And so I am returning to that vision. So comment down below what your original vision was and how you plan on remembering that and returning to that vision. My second tip is remember to use fear as a vehicle for change, not an assist to stagnation. So I had to remind myself of this because I've let fear of a lot of things, fear of putting myself out here into the world, fear of my books not being good enough, um, fear of just never getting to the place in my career, in my writing career that I want to get to keep me stagnant. And now I've decided to flip that and put my energy out into the world because I am an individual and there's no one else in the world like me. There is no one else that's going to present the information that I have to offer like me. And so that alone is a catalyst for me to put my books out into the world, to put my YouTube channel out into the world, because that was another fear of mine. I'm like, I don't want to do a YouTube channel because who wants to see me on video? Who wants to hear me sit here and talk about different topics on video every week? But here I am. I am pushing past the fear. I am pushing past um, the places in my life that have become stagnant, and I'm learning how to move forward. And I encourage you to do the same in whatever way that you need to push yourself forward. Don't become stagnant. Don't use the fear as an excuse. Keep moving forward. Tip number 3 is make time for the things that are going to move the needle. So, for me, for a long time, it's been since 2020, I think, that I published a book. But right now, I am in what I am calling my gestation stage. I am writing the first draft of the second book of my Unmasked series right currently. That is my work in progress. I also have the next book in my Remembering June series drafted and kind of like resting. And I also have another project that I'm working on that is based on a story about a girl in dancing and what it means in her life, because I have a dance background and I wanted to write a story about someone who was a dancer. So I'm doing that. And that has also been drafted and is now in revisions, but it's now resting. I had started revisions on it and then decided that I was going to go ahead and start writing this next book in the Unmasked series. So when I talk about moving the needle, I think I just mean moving yourself forward in baby steps. If it means that you're writing for 5 minutes a day till you heal whatever parts of yourself need to be healed, then do that, because it's moving it forward. If it means making another video and posting it to YouTube with very few views because you're basically an unknown, do it anyway. That's what I'm currently doing. It also means being prepared. Prepare yourself for what's to come, because I feel like if I had it to do all over again, I probably would have written more books and first before I released them. I would have learned more about the business side of things, of especially in self-publishing, because it is such a niche market. There are a lot of self-published authors out there now, and I wish I had learned more about marketing myself as a self-published author, learned about more about formatting, about book packaging, about all the things that I feel like would have helped me to move that needle. So that's what I mean. Learn as much as you can, absorb as much as you can. Keep doing your art form every day. I know that I don't necessarily write every day, but I encourage you, if it's something that you feel comfortable with, do it. But it has to be your decision. It has to be based off of what you want out of your creative endeavor. If you don't want it to be monetary, then you can do it whenever you feel like doing it. But if you do want it to be monetary, it's taking those steps every day that are going to move you towards the goal. And in my case, it is the goal of becoming a full-time author. So right now I am relearning and learning all that I can, so that when I republish Unmasked and also start bringing out these other books that I have in process, I will feel more prepared. So all I have to say to wrap this point up is just be prepared and keep moving forward. Tip number 4 is remember your mental health and remember to breathe. Like, this is probably the most important one for me because my mental health affects my productivity. And I'm pretty sure that if you deal with any mental health issues, whether it be anxiety or depression or any other form of, mental illness, that you are affected creatively, and you're not able to produce as fast or as often. And it can kind of take a toll on you because not only are you depressed, but this thing that you love is just kind of sitting to the wayside. So, my advice is to do a daily and even a weekly check in with yourself, to journal, to meditate, to always be aware of when you are in a mental space that could bring on a spiral. Um, it takes work to work on mental health. It's not something that is always good, especially when you're someone who deals with mental health on a regular basis. You're not always in a good headspace and you're not always inspired or motivated to create. And that could be really hard for someone like me who is trying to create a writing career and use that as my full time income. Um, but I believe that checking in with yourself and, like I said, and meditating and journaling and seeing and seeking out a mental health professional is going to be your best line of defense when battling mental health. In terms of remembering to breathe, just remember that sometimes your greatest inspiration comes from living your life and being out in the world and listening to conversations and being one with nature even. And I'm not a huge nature person. I live in Colorado. I know that's crazy, but I'm not a huge nature person. I am very much a homebody. I often joke that television is my boyfriend because I would rather curl up in bed with a good book or watching a good TV show than be out in the world. But I'm learning that I cannot isolate myself, especially when it comes to mental health. And, um, but being one with your environment and your community is very important to you creatively because you never know where inspiration is going to start to spark. So get out there and live your life and have the experiences because that is going to be your best line of defense for your mental health as well as for, taking a breath every once in a while because you can't always just go in this creative journey. You have to learn how to take a break sometimes. So remember that as you start to get back into your creative journey or as you continue on this creative journey. Tip number 5 and my last and final point for this video is remember consistency. In the past, I have had an issue with consistency, especially when it comes to motivation or my mental health. But as I'm getting back into it, I'm realizing that consistency is key. It is quality over quantity at this point. Yes, as I've said before, I only have now two books. Well, I've got 3 books published. I had to pull one down um, because it needed to be reformatted. And so I technically have 3 books published, but one has been pulled down for sale at the moment. And I plan on getting to work on getting that back up as quickly as possible. But I'm realizing, especially as I'm creating this channel, that consistency is key, that creating content is key, and for me as a writer, that writing consistently is key. So for this month of April, I am trying to write every weekday for at least 30 minutes a day. I know that doesn't seem like much to, to most people, but again, it goes back to my previous point that you have to do something every day to move the needle. So I am moving the needle in my career by still writing, but maybe not writing as much as I was writing. And I think that will change as I get back into the habit. But for now, as I'm building it back up and returning to my creative pursuit of being a full time author, I think that it is best for me to take it slowly and to not push myself too hard and not be too harsh on myself in the beginning because, I mean, number one, that's not good for my mental health. And number two, I'm not in this race to beat out everyone else. I'm in this race to run my own race, either as fast or as slow as I want it to go. So I'm encouraging you to take all that I've said today and if you can apply it, apply it. So just remember your why. It's tip number one. Remember your why, remember your vision. Remember to use fear as a vehicle for change, not an assist to stagnation, is tip number two. Tip number three is remember to make time for the things that are going to move the needle. Tip number four is remember your mental health, remember to breathe. And my final tip for this video is remember consistency. So now that I've shared with you the 5 things that I'm trying to remind myself of daily in revisiting the vision for my writing career, I'm going to share with you some of my goals, writing and career development wise, for 2023. So I have a good, better, and best goal for my writing. My good goal is to finish the first draft of Unbridled, and I don't have a time limit on that or anything. I think I'm going to put a time limit on all of these because in order for me to be able to achieve them reasonably, I'm going to have to put a time limit on them despite what I feel about boxing myself in. I'm going to do that for the purpose of moving my career forward because as I discussed in the first video, I want to try to be more diligent about structuring the things that need to be structured. And the other things I can still be kind of free with. So my better goal is to finish that first draft of the Unbridled, and also to finish the second draft of my third Remembering June book. That is my better goal. Then my best goal is to do those 2 items, finish the first draft of Unbridled and finishing the second draft of my third Remembering June book, but also finishing the second draft of Project Girl Dancing, which is my dance book that I was talking about. So those are my writing goals for 2023. What are your goals in terms of your creative pursuits for 2023? Share in the comments. So my career and development goals for 2023 are to start a YouTube channel, which I am currently doing right now as I'm recording this video. So yay me. And I also want to start and finish Sarah Cannon's Publish and Thrive course. I bought her course with every intention of using it to help me to better my approach to my self-publishing career. And I have started it at least twice, only gotten through the first video, and it has been during times when I probably shouldn't have been trying to do it. Sarah, just to be completely candid, Sarah Cannon is like my mentor from afar. I appreciate everything that she does for the AuthorTube community and the way that she is trying to give back to the AuthorTube community. So I just want to give a shout out to at Sarah Cannon or at Heart Breathings, which is her channel where she shares not only writing advice, but she also kind of focuses on things like productivity and notebooks and stickers and things like that. So if that's something that you're into, then I encourage you to look her up at her author channels. That one of them is called at Sarah Cannon and the other one is at Heart Breathings. And then my next goal for 2023 in my career and development goals is finding critique partners. I think critique partners are very important in this writing process because writing is so solitary, and I feel like I have up to this point tried to do everything on my own and try to stay within a bubble, and I want to expand my bubble and perhaps make it a little bit wider, especially when in terms of the writing community and people that I know in the writing community. So, finding critique partners is my first step in doing that. My next goal for 2023 in terms of career and development is hiring someone to update my website. I have done, like, as I stated previously, I have tried to do everything myself, and sometimes in doing that you miss opportunities to do something better. And I definitely know that my website could be better. It's up and running, and I have a Wix website that is up and running, but it is nowhere near, where I would like it to be. So I'm going to definitely hire someone, or that is one of my goals this year, to hire someone to update my website, because I think it's important to have a good author website. And last but never least is in my career and development goals, I need to also update Unmasked and republish it. I really loved this story, and that's the reason why I took it down, because I don't want anyone to have a negative perception of me and my writing or my formatting style. And so I took it down, chose to take it down, and I am working on reworking the formatting, and then I'm also going to have to rework the cover with the cover designer, and then I will republish. And I think I want to do that sometime in the summer, like in maybe June or July, have that republished. So I'm going to probably have to, like I said, settle down on some dates on some of this stuff. But for now, those are my goals in career and development and in writing for 2023. And I think that as the year goes on, I will probably have more. So keep your fingers crossed for me. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you. I'm encouraging you to jump out there and do the things creatively that you feel most drawn to, whether it is for monetary reasons or just for fun. Just do it. Just have fun with it. And most of all, just enjoy the fact that you are a creative, and that we are so lucky and so blessed to be able to do what we love most, even if we're not making money at it yet. So, don't wait to be chosen. Choose you first. Well, creatives, we've come to the end of another video, and I hope that you enjoyed, me revisiting my vision for my creative pursuits, and I hope that it helps you to revisit your own creative pursuits and remember your why. Why do you enjoy being a creative? Why did you begin creating in whatever art form to begin with? It's important to me that now that I've got some momentum going, that I keep going. So if you feel like you need some encouragement or some of that vibe in your life, then please, please, please subscribe and comment and like this video so that I can provide more videos like this. And enjoy the rest of your week. It has been great talking to you today, and I will see you in my next video. Have a great day.